Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of State of Survival with StickyFang Gaming. And today's video is going to be the state versus state Q&A that I promised you guys. I'm going to have about 20 questions that I'm going to be getting through that I've been asked about a lot in the last couple of days since state versus state. And I'll try to get through them as quick as possible, but I'll try to be as clear as possible as well, because I know that these are a lot of questions that most people want to know. And to, keep you guys from asking me about it again later because I'm not clear enough, I'll just try to be as thorough as possible when answering these. So without further ado, let's get started. So for the first question, is very simple. How many states will I be up against in state versus state? So if we are going straight off of the beta test from state 1, state 9 versus 10, state versus 111 and 115, it will just be a 1v1. Now, may they change this in the future? Possibly, but as of right now, the state versus state will just be a 1v1 between your state and an enemy state. The next question is, do you recommend creating a mega alliance for state versus state? Well, this is a little bit of a broad answer because it really depends on the strategy that your state wants to implement. I personally don't think a mega alliance will be as reliable as multiple alliances all fighting. There's gonna be some other questions where I can go into more detail about the pros and cons, but I believe that if you just bring all your top guys into one alliance, then that leaves not as many people to support those top guys, because you can only fit about 100 people into an alliance total, right? So if you have an alliance like with 25 of your top guys and at least 75 people left for filling rallies, those 75 people that's going to basically be all the troops that you have. Now, if you were to break up those 25 top guys in your state and put them in 5 alliances, now you have another 95 people to 90 people who can fill those rallies and feed more troops into them instead of 75 people splitting off between all these other top guys. That's just one way to look at it, and that's just my personal opinion on it. But again, it really depends on your state and how you guys want to run things. So do I recommend it? No. Can you do it? Yeah. And there's gonna be more questions in regards to this later on, so I'll go to the next one. Question number 3. What happens to the capital of the state that wins the preparation phase? So there are a couple suspicions going around. We weren't sure if it went to the alliance that was number 1 ranking in the preparation phase, or if it went back to the alliance that had it before the last governor of that state before the state versus state. And after doing a little bit of digging, it looks like it does go to whoever was the governor, or whichever alliance was the governor before the state versus state. So if someone in your state is governor right now, and you guys have state versus state, and your state wins the preparation phase, then whoever is the governor right now is going to be the same alliance who gets your frozen governor after the preparation phase is over. And I was able to verify that because in state 1, the top preparation phase alliance was MKN. However, the state governor for number 1 went back to DRI, which was the alliance that had it beforehand, but they were actually placed number 9 in the preparation phase rankings. And then same thing in state 10, it went back to Z-Day, who had it previously before as well. So question 4. Can both states invade each other as soon as warfare stage starts? And the answer to that is yes. As soon as the warfare stage starts, you will be able to port into the enemy state, whether you were the winner of the preparation phase or not, and you can start attacking people's settlements, people's hives, tiles, all of it. The only thing that you won't be able to do as soon as warfare stage starts is fight for the capital. That is about 9 to 10 hours after the warfare stage starts, and they'll give you a timer as well, so you'll know exactly when the capital will open. But yeah, as soon as warfare stage starts, you can start raining hellfire on the enemy. And yeah, they did not waste any time in state 1 and 3. So next question is, can I port to the enemy state with reinforcements in my settlement? As this would be a great feature if you could. Unfortunately, you cannot port into the enemy state with reinforcements already in your settlement. you will have to port into the enemy state first and then get your friends to port over as well. And then they can reinforce you, and then you'll be able to port somewhere within the enemy state wherever you want to after you've already initially gotten there. So you can't just go over there automatically with reinforcements. That would be nice, but it's not possible. So moving on to the next question, number 6. Is there a limit to how many people can port to the enemy state? So as far as I know, there is not a limit. They never indicated any limit whatsoever. And then looking into states 111 and 115, state versus state, I highly doubt that there's a limit. If the entirety of some state wanted to port over to the other state to fight, I believe they do have the capabilities to accomplish that. And that is probably why they're keeping it to a 1v1 for state versus state. That way the servers can handle that kind of capacity. So as far as I know, there is not a limit. There is never any indication that we were reaching a limit by porting over and whatnot. So you should be good to go to send as many people as you want to into the enemy state. And just be aware that means pretty much however many people are in the enemy state can port over to your state as well. So that is number 6. Now for number 7. How much does it cost to port to the enemy state once I use my 3 free ports? So if you didn't know, for state versus state, you get 3 free ports for the entirety of the event to go back and forth from your state to their state. So I wouldn't do a whole lot of switching around if I were you. However, if you do use all 3 of those free ports that they give you, it did only cost 100 biocaps for me to use an extra one. Now, I didn't have to use another free port or another port after that to switch over to the enemy state. So my assumption is those biocaps will increase to maybe like 200, then 400, then maybe like 1,000 biocaps. But I don't really see you needing to bounce back and forth between both the states unless you're having like a mega war and you're needing on both sides. But yeah, so you do get to use biocaps after you use your free ports. But my assumption is that it will increase every time you need to use it. So be aware of that. State versus state, question number 8. I made that rhyme. If I don't use all of my free ports for this state versus state, will they transfer to the next one? No. I can tell you right now that once the state versus state warfare stage ends, those ports that you have are gone. They don't even really come as items. They just come as a notification on the screen saying that you have free ports to use. So use them up if you can. And if you don't, then you'll get 3 fresh new ones on the next one. And for the next question, number 9. When does the capital open during the warfare stage? So I kind of covered this one a little bit earlier. So the capital will open about 9 to 10 hours into the warfare stage. So whatever time is your capital clash right now, that will be the same time for your capital clash for state versus state. I can't remember the time exactly for UTC, but it's the same time. So State 1 and State 3's state versus state capital clash was happening at the same time as all the rest of our capital clashes. So it's not going to be some strange time. You'll get the hours beforehand because the warfare stage will start at reset, and then capital clash will start, for me, is like 3 a.m., you know, but it's whatever time that is in UTC or whatever time it usually is for you. It's the same thing for warfare stage. So question number 10. Can governor buffs be used during the warfare stage, and when the capital opens during the warfare stage, will they still apply? That is a really big question. So this is a little bit more intricate. Can governor buffs be used during the warfare stage? Yes. So whoever's your governor, once the warfare stage begins, will still be able to use governor buffs such as prison shackles, the force eviction. They can still do things like that. They can also do the governor buffs for healing, troop speed ups, or whatever else, and those will still apply during the warfare stage. And so those specific buffs for the state will apply after the warfare stage as well. And when the capital stage opens up, they'll still be there. It's like the healing buff and whatnot. However, prison shackles and the forced eviction won't work anymore once the capital opens back up, because that person will no longer be governor. So whoever's your governor at that moment, in whatever state you are, once the warfare stage is opened, they can still use all their buffs up until the enemy's capital opens up, or if your capital opens up. Once those capitals open up, that person can no longer use the governor buffs until the capital is closed and a new governor is chosen. So Yeah, that was tested out in state 111 and 115, I believe. Whoever was their governor, they actually sent me some screenshots of them using the prison shackles, and that was pretty cool. And they said that it just expires once the Capitol opens up, and then there was a healing speed up that was used that they were able to keep throughout the entirety of their Capitol clash. And another fun fact, and it's not one of the questions I have written down, but if you win the preparation phase, you also get a 15% healing speed up for Capital Clash. And I think the losing state gets like a 7.5% speed up for their Capital Clash fight against that other state. So I hope that was clear enough. I know that was kind of like all over the place, a little bit hard to explain, but basically if you have a governor during the warfare stage and the capital is not opened up, yes, they can still use the governor buffs up until the capital opens. And so that, guys, was questions 1 through 10 for state versus state Q&A. We still have 11 through 20 to get through. However, I presented a lot of information today. You probably have a lot to kind of digest. The video for 11 through 20 will come out in the next day or so. However, before I release that, if you guys could help me out, I would like for my channel to reach more states and to reach more players, because I do this to help people and I just want to make sure that everyone's getting this information. So if you could please get with your friends, push this video out so everyone can get this information and everyone can kind of know what's going on fairly. I'm hoping this video can get at least like 1,000 views or so in the next day or so. That way I know that people are getting this information back. Also, if you want to be one of the first people notified of my videos and of the state versus state Q&A 11 through 20, then please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click on the bell button. That way you can be notified when I am posting that video, so you're not late to the party, you know? And until next time, guys, this has been another episode of State of Survival with StickyFang Gaming. Bye.